Space Shuttle Challenger, liftoff from a freezing cold Florida to the cheers of the young students of the first ever U.S. teacher astronaut. Moments later, full throttle and point of highest stress. A massive explosion. The cheering stops. The horror sinks in. 7 Americans with the highest hopes, $1 billion worth of the highest technology, gone in seconds. The worst disaster in the U.S. space program ever. Good evening, this is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting. Never before in 25 years of Americans in space, never in 25 launches of the space shuttle had a life been lost. Today, that record went down in flames. Tonight, the search for survivors turned up none. The search for answers is just starting. Bruce Hall begins our coverage of a spaceship that became a fireball and a national tragedy. The deaths in service of their country of hero astronauts and hero teacher.
It was a very happy and confident crew that departed for the shuttle this morning. Future astronaut Krista McAuliffe said they had gotten over the frustration of the earlier delays. And technicians had an apple for her moments before she actually entered the shuttle. But the crew had to sit on the pad for an extra hour, while NASA took a close look at the ice that formed during the night in the freezing temperatures. There was concern that some of that ice could strike the shuttle during liftoff. Finally, after a detailed ice inspection, the word was given, go for launch.
And liftoff of the 25th Space Shuttle mission, and it has cleared the tower.
It was the first launch from the newly refurbished pad 39B in more than 10 years. NASA officials say they saw no indications of any trouble or difficulty prior to the horrifying explosion.
Altitude 4.3 nautical miles, downrange distance 3 nautical miles. Engines throttling up, 3 engines now at 104%.
Challenger, go at throttle up.
Challenger, go at throttle up.
Oh my God.
The explosion appeared to destroy Challenger. The solid rocket boosters emerged from the fireball, continuing to fly uncontrollably for several seconds before plunging into the Atlantic Ocean, leaving a trail of smoke. Coast Guard Lieutenant Dave Baird watched the explosion from aboard a commercial jet.
Basically, it looked like it just tore itself to shreds and was on fire. And it looked like a kid's airplane being hit by the wind, and it didn't appear that anything could have survived from our vantage point.
The Coast Guard immediately launched an emergency rescue effort, but all that was found were small pieces of debris scattered over a wide area. NASA officials put together an investigation team this afternoon, but gave no indication of the cause of the explosion.
It will take all the data, careful review of that data, before we can draw any conclusions on this national tragedy.
NASA sources say the immediate attention is being focused on what appeared to be fuel or vapors that appeared around the solid rocket boosters and the main fuel tank a second or two before the explosion. NASA bristles at suggestions that they launched the shuttle under pressure today.
There was absolutely no pressure to get this particular launch off. We have always maintain that flight safety is our top priority.
NASA officials announced this afternoon they are suspending all shuttle operations until there is some indication of the cause of the explosion. Bruce Hall, CBS News at the Kennedy Space Center.